and this will trigger the Lexus RCF.
So that's big. That is a very big crash. Oh my God, that is so fast.
And here's a replay of what happened to Greg Murphy. Launches off the inside curb and then straight across the outside curb. This is at turn 9 and wallop into the wall in no uncertain terms.
HSV dealer team. You see it here in the replay. This is incredibly massive impact. At top speed, he clips the wall there. The car surfs across the sand and straight into a concrete barrier.
And one of the Castrol Commodores capitalises as well. So Bernard goes back to this bus. There's been a tangle coming off the bridge. Well, Greg Murphy.
Stephen Richards in behind him, and Murphy is in a very precarious position. Oh no, Rick Kelly avoids the trouble.
Well, we just saw that just going out of shot. There was a collision between the Kmart and its Commodore. Had everything locked up. Let's have a look at this again. Well, there was a bit of a collision between the Castrol Commodore and the Kmart car.
Yeah,
everyone did.
They have to think about it. This. Oh dear.
Somebody off on the outside there and heavily into the wall. And I think that was Paul Dumbrell. This is a brand new car for Paul.
Paul Dumbrell just radioing back saying just lost the tyre on the way in. No grip. Zinger replay shows a whole puff of dust. And it was Jamie Whincup we were on board with when we saw car 16 disappear off to the tyre barriers. They have done their job. Paul Dumbrell is okay. But
Tanner's going to hit the wall. Big contact. He couldn't turn the car with the damage on the front left-hand corner and has ploughed it straight into the wall.
Turn 8 bites another one. Garth Tander's day is surely done.
Resets everything, but different people have played different strategy games. Here's the replay of what happened to Anthony Tratt in the Toll HSV car. Oh, it turned in, got it sideways. Big impact with the wall, back of the car. Badly knocked around there. Oh, comes into frame. Totally out of shape. That's our remote camera up on top of the wall there. At point in starting the climb, his speed peaks there just as he comes into shot, about 170 k's, sort of hovers around that and then builds further to the fourth gear change. Green is for tyres, the yellow is for fuel. Have a go at this Zinger replay for the near miss. What do we see? Oh, there was contact.
Quite sure what's going on down there in the Kmart racing situation at the moment. Look at this.
Oh, look at this. Whoa! Oh, dear me, Kelly.
As Neil Crompton described it, the cork in the bottle.
trouble. So Bow comes into shot.
One of the Valvoline cars has made contact with Bow, and then Bernard and McConville have all got into it.
Caught in the crunch behind the Kmart Commodore. In control. This is Paul Dumbrell, the Autobahn. Oh dear. Ouch. Oh man, that's scary.
That happened right in front of Mark Scaife, who was straight on the radio to explain what happened. Looked like something failed in the front of that car before he got there. Considering
We will no doubt have a safety car period here. Safety car boards on display. Oh, Craig, what's your read on that?
The way that left the road, it almost looked like it had a puncture. It had a lot of understeer or a deflated left front tyre. It just didn't steer. And then, as you can see, as he's caught the tyres, it's just ripped around. Yeah.
And this one was the contact between Scaife and Rick Kelly. And around they both go.
I don't reckon I've heard as much counselling over the radio.
Now, what about this one? Rick Kelly down the inside on Garth Tander. And he's a long way down there, but GT turns in, and that will raise the blood pressure in that garage. And, of course, there's all sorts of chaos as a result of that. Illustration of what happens when you drive on the race line. Here's McConville down the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen. Oh, and Rick Kelly, big contact. Around goes Rick Kelly. And an awkward moment there. The sequence for them in a big way. There's something hanging down under that car. Here's what happened. Lowndes got very close to the back of Kelly as they approached the chase at 300 k's. And when you're that close, it destabilises the car in front. And it's had a bit of a shake. He couldn't grab it. He's got onto the bumpy stuff. And then out there, it's dirty.
Oh, here comes Lowndes. Whoa!
And he missed him, obviously. So
here is the Zinger replay.
touch to car number 33 was involved in that. That's the Holdsworth Skyfleet car, and Skyfleet was the one at the wheel at the time. Look at that, rain on the lens, greasy conditions. Two cars do not run side by side down into the dipper.
Bright and Tander going hard at it. Big lock up again from the Dodo Racing Commodore, and Richards has given Johnson a tap. Tander goes around.
You know why that happened? When he put his foot on the brake down the other end.
Lots of qualifying involving two of the very big names, Rick Kelly and Mark Scaife, who's about to come into picture at turn 8. Watch this.
Very typical of this racetrack, lots of blind corners, and Rick went into turn 8 with a little bit of oversteer, couldn't gather it up, whacked the wall. Mark Scaife came round the corner, unsighted, couldn't see Rick, smacks hard into him, done a lot of damage to car number 2. Scaife was of the view that the yellow flag that he saw was for Shane van Gisbergen in the Team Kiwi Falcon, which you can see arriving back. I'll just hold on to that remark until it reveals itself.
Here we go. So Paul Dumbrell and Cam McConville marched down at 2.
Competitive, or even worse, into the crowd. And more trouble up here at the hairpin. This time it's Rick Kelly that goes around one of the Valvoline big guys at the back. I think it was just that Rick got pinched there for space.
He was dicing with Canto.
I don't think anybody else was into the back of the car.
By this stage, Rick Kelly's thinking, why me? Had nothing to do with it. That was a battle that started way back at turn 6 when Stephen Richards and Scaife got side by side.
Bonding to my fingers and playing with the wires at the back.
And the Zinger replay shows us a little bit of what went on there. And I think it looked like Bargwanna took evasive action. Perhaps Tratt got a little sideways.
Him in. That's the story for Rick.
There's the problem. I've got a feeling either we called it incorrectly or maybe race control's got it wrong, but I thought it was Jack Perkins in the Jack Daniels car that was involved in it.
This is where he was yesterday, about this stage of the race too, when the car dropped to 7 cylinders. This is Rick Kelly.
That's a moment he doesn't need. Through the sign, out the other side. No, that's gonna mask the air intake across the front of the car. FPR are seeing the funny side, but that won't be a smile that's shared at Toll HSV. Right at the apex of some of the corners around here, it puddles up between where the racetrack joins the ripple strip. Oh, he's giving him a whack. Todd has given Garth Tander a whack and turned him. He may get penalised for that. He had to think about going up the inside at turn 7, but he didn't make it stick. And car 111, a mechanical black flag, John Bow.
You'd have to say Stephen Richards' stop was a little disappointing for that team, was a little slow, and I've just looked out onto the circuit, and Dumbrell was off the circuit, had made a little mistake as well, so he's going to lose some time.
Major problems here.
Track in front and behind, as we saw. Now this is what happened to Todd Kelly once again. Oh gee. Exactly the same impact spot, but thankfully he got out of it a lot better than Stephen Ellery, Paul Radicic, and today
Tank was still connected to the car.
You'll see it there on the left-hand side. Look at that. Oh, man, what an ugly mess. And really dangerous.
Well, how lucky we didn't get a big explosion there. There is an enormous amount of fuel there, highly combustible material.
Sit it there at Castrol Perkins, Commodore, Mark Larkham and Dougal McDougall. Let's take a look on the inside. You can see Greg Murphy and Anthony Tratt.
Well, I wonder.
See what happens here. So Brad Jones gets spun around. Car number 24 is Paul Romano behind him. Wilson gets past. Wakefield got through. By now there's a bit of damage in Crunch. That was Radicic.
Look, Toddler was probably trying. I mean, it's when you're in the car, it's always a different scenario. I won't be too hard on him, but it was a little bit deep under brakes. It was definitely had a big lunge, and he was slightly sideways when he got up to the B pillar, so perhaps he should have got out of it, you know, and really it's put paid to his race with a long way to go.
And what flame trail that car 18 left behind as well as it shot across the grass.
He did collect the Castrol Commodore.
15s and 15s for much of the field, Bill. And this is car number 51 going around.
It's Rick Kelly.
Yeah.
Took the start for car 51.
And as a result, he's down in 6th position.